Trump sends feds in to raid New York's Islamberg after 2 decades, uncover America's worst nightmare. There's a mysterious hidden Muslim compound called Islamberg's that's nestled deep within the woods of the Catskill Mountains in New York. The only way to access the 70-acre compound is through primitive dirt roads, where more than 100 Muslims live in seclusion away from the prying eyes of curious Americans. For over 2 decades, infidels have been prohibited from entering, as anyone attempting to enter will be greeted by armed Muslims patrolling a guard shack at the compound's entry gate. Without access to the compound, there's been no way to confirm rumors about the location being used as a training ground for Muslim terrorists. But after an alarming incident involving one of the Islamberg residents, police were finally able to obtain a warrant and raid the place. And what they discovered that these Muslims have been quietly plotting for years is nothing short of chilling. For over 2 decades, this cult-like group of Sharia law-following Muslims have lived quietly under the guidance of Pakistani Sheikh Said Mubarak Ali Shah Gilani, a radical Muslim with known ties to Jamaat al-Fuqara, a terror organization responsible for a long list of terrorist activities around the world, including murders of rival religious figures in the United States. Locals in the area have oftentimes reported the sounds of gunfire and explosions emanating from the compound, but because the Muslims weren't necessarily breaking any laws, there was nothing that law enforcement could do except keep a close eye on the place from a distance. But with the recent arrest of Islamberg resident Ramadan Abdullah, who was recently caught trying to steal several cases of ammunition from a local mountain store in the area, authorities finally had their chance to obtain a search warrant for the compound, and what they discovered was nothing short of chilling. Shortly after arresting Ramadan Abdullah for theft, the Muslims' answers about why he was stealing ammunition raised suspicion among police, who then decided to obtain a search warrant to investigate their suspicions further. During the raid they discovered a massive stockpile of illegal weapons throughout the Islamberg location, including 8 assault weapons, 4 loaded handguns, 1 loaded shotgun, 2 rifles, 64 high-capacity ammunition feeding devices, and body armor, including thousands of rounds of .50 caliber ammunition capable of piercing body armor. But the illegal cache of weapons seized at the compound was unfortunately just the beginning. After Abdullah's arrest, authorities began looking closer into his background, discovering that the Muslim is a longtime associate of the U.S.-based Islamist terrorist organization, Muslims of America, MOA, and was the very same Muslim who was arrested back in 1977 after police discovered enough material at his home to build 50 bombs. Abdullah also participated in the armed robbery of a candy store in Brooklyn back in the 70s that resulted in the death of a man. But after serving time and having his sentence drastically reduced, Abdullah had pretty much fallen off the radar of authorities, quietly living on the Islamberg compound and training other terrorists on the use of weapons. His arrest has now validated the fears that New York residents held all along that the compound was in fact location being used to actively train terrorists, where Fox News is now coming forward with other possible rumors of there being a tank on the grounds as well, and that the location was once used to hide Osama bin Laden from authorities. Since Abdullah's arrest, New York State Police Major Jim Barnes said he believes that the Muslim terrorist has traveled overseas to promote terrorism. All Abdullah's illegal weapons have since been seized, and Barnes questions exactly what Abdullah's motives were for hoarding such a massive amount of weapons in the first place. It begs the question, what was he doing with all this and what were his intentions down the road? Barnes said. Thankfully, Abdullah is being held without bail at the Broome County Jail. On several occasions, political pundit Dennis Michael Lynch has reported on the alarming things going on in Islamberg, exposing how 22 other training camps within the United States are directly associated with the Mo terror network and Ramadan Abdullah. Below is a chilling mini-documentary he did on Islamberg. Watch for yourself and ask, just what exactly is in that U-Haul truck? It's absolutely ridiculous that Muslims in this country are allowed to have their own freaking jihadi compounds, where they're actively training their residents on the necessary tactics to carry out terror attacks. While Americans are protected under the Constitution against illegal searches and seizures, when known freaking terrorists are leading these compounds, it's time to stop letting these Muslims hide behind our laws and put them all in Gitmo where they belong. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.